Hello, I'm Richard, and today I'm reviewing Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company by Alexander Freed. This is Freed's first novel, and it is a tie-in to the recent Battlefront game that just launched. Though, unlike some other video game tie-in novels, this one actually stands up very well on its own. Now, it follows the Rebel Alliance's 61st Mobile Infantry Division, nicknamed Twilight Company. They are led by a rather enigmatic captain, something of a mysterious figure. He comes up a couple times. He's nicknamed Howl, as in Howling Mad, which it just reminded me a lot of the original A-Team. But the main character that you focus on is named Sergeant Hazram Namir. I'm probably mispronouncing this, so I beg your indulgence as I pronounce names. Nadir grew up on a backwater planet. You find out through flashbacks that he's been something of a mercenary for various groups on his planet. Various groups would vie for power, they'd fail, and he'd move on to the next group. So, the 61st will go around and do open recruits, unlike some other Alliance infantry units. They'll set up on a planet that they recently liberated or fought on, and in an attempt to recoup some of their losses, they will recruit people right there. Nadir proves himself worthy of the Alliance and shows that he has skills beyond basic fighting. He's able to understand people. He's a bit of a cynic. Well, that's a bit of an understatement. He is a cynic. He does not believe in the rebels' cause. But he doesn't believe in the Empire either. He just fights, and he's loyal to his men and women that fight with him and that he is in charge of, but he's not in any way a die-hard supporter of the Alliance. In the novel, the 61st captures, an Imperial governor named Everi Chalis. I say kind of because she sort of surrenders and joins them. She was exiled to another backwater planet in the wake of the destruction of the first Death Star. And she wants to join up with the rebellion, mostly to attack the Empire. She really just wants revenge on them. And she uses her knowledge of the Imperial structure that they use to actually run the Empire to formulate a series of surgical strikes in order to cripple the Empire. The end result is, in her goals, an attack on Kuat, where they make the Star Destroyers. Again, probably mispronouncing that. So, that's her main goal. She's not the only Imperial that Freed shows. He also features Thera Nyendi, who's better known as SP-475 of the Imperial 97th Stormtrooper Legion. She's on the planet Sullust. You see her in her civilian life trying to help her uncle who runs a cantina. People are wary around her. They know she's a stormtrooper, but she actually believes in the Empire. She thinks that it's the rebellion causing all this trouble that is the cause of people suffering on Sullust. So she's interesting in that sense that she's not just a soldier, she's not brutal, she just wants to serve her planet and the Empire. So she signed up with the Stormtroopers. You also have a character named Prelate Verge, or Verge, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. And he is a die-hard believer in the Imperial system. He is a fanatical believer in Palpatine's New Order. He believes that he is one of the first children of the First Order, people born after Palpatine ascended to power. He's very young. He brings in Captain Tabor Sateran, who runs the Imperial Naval Academy on Karita. I'm pretty sure he's referenced in Lost Stars, but don't hold me to that. It's been a little while since I've read that one. And he wants Sateran to help him track down Chalis. They view her as a target worthy of capture because at least Prelate Verge understands that she has knowledge of how the Empire is run, the logistics of it. So with these three Imperial characters, SP-475, the Prelate, and Captain Sateran, you have 3 very different Imperials. I'm not counting Chalis as an Imperial because she is working with the Alliance, actively working with the Alliance. SP-475, Nyendi, she believes that she's actually doing good on her planet by working with the Empire. She thinks it's the rebels that cause the trouble. Prelate Verge he's insane. He's a fanaticist. He thinks that it's better to die failing than to abandon your post because that's the ultimate betrayal. Instead of changing your tack halfway through, he's nuts. And Sateron Captain Sateron, that is, quickly realizes this and is forced to try and work with him, and he just wants to get back to the Imperial Academy where he can have his tea set and his usual accommodations. It's nothing fancy he wants to go back to. He just likes being a history professor on Krita. So the story follows all these characters, and their stories do intersect. Freed takes a little bit to get into the heart of the story. He needs to set all of these characters up. The thing is, when he does, it's so worth it. These characters do all come together. Anyone reading this would be able to figure that out. And it's a complex narrative, but Freed handles it very, very well. Considering this is his first novel. He's written before and worked with video game companies, but this is his first full novel. It feels at points like it's the Band of Brothers of the Star Wars universe, or at least for the Band of Brothers of the Rebel Alliance. And it's easy to make that comparison since the Empire, well, it resembles the Nazis, and its aesthetic, the wardrobes, the culture is at least partially based on the Nazis. So seeing the rebels as the Band of Brothers, as that company going through Europe, instead now they're going through, well, the galaxy, to fight the Imperials, is an easy comparison to make, and it's a very good one. Now, I haven't yet played the games, so I don't know exactly how the story translates to the game, how it's interpreted by the game, if this is just backstory and the game is just something else. Some of the early footage so far shows really just a wide array of battles, so it doesn't appear to really follow this unit. That said, this is an excellent novel. This is actually the last novel that is coming out prior to the release of The Force Awakens, and it definitely sets the stage. Freed is superb in his handling of battles, the way he describes them, describes the chaos of the battles, describes the uncertainty, describes what the soldiers are going through. It's just a great novel, and it really gives me a lot of hope for the novels that are going to come out, tying in with The Force Awakens and, again, helping to fill in that time period between them. Now, I've talked about continuity a lot on this series, so this particular novel, it has flashbacks to the time between episodes 3 and 4. Most of the story, the actual basic story itself, begins just after Heir to the Jedi. I would actually put it just after The Weapon of a Jedi, because it seems to fit in better at that point. Those two stories both take place very soon after the Battle of Yavin, and this takes place a little bit further afterward. You do get the Battle of Hoth in this, and a little bit between that and the Return of the Jedi. So that's roughly where this falls continuity-wise. It is, again, just an excellent novel. It's Freed's first novel, as I keep saying, because I'm just really amazed, but also I really want him to write more Star Wars. So on the off chance he's watching this, Mr. Freed, please write more Star Wars. For everyone else, thanks for watching. Okay, one last issue of Star Wars Shattered Empire. This is issue 4. This is the final issue of this miniseries. In this one, Greg Rucka continues to focus on Lieutenant Bay. She is now retiring from the Alliance, or at least from active duty in the Alliance, after all of the service she's done. She does take one final mission, though. This time she escorts Luke Skywalker. He's going to an Imperial science station where they are holding what turn out to be 2 trees. And these 2 trees had originally been planted somewhere near the foundation of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. so they are steeped in the Force. They have a quick battle. You do see more of those robots that appeared in issue 2 to bring the message, supposedly from the Empire to from the Emperor to Imperial soldiers. They again closely resemble some of these red, possibly cyborg or robot soldiers that have come up for The Force Awakens, so this might be again tying the story into that. Now, there are 2 trees. Obviously, Luke Skywalker takes one. The other one goes with Lieutenant Bay when she and Dameron retire together. They plant it at Yavin 4, or at least it looks like Yavin 4. It has the same style pyramids. And that's where this story ends. So we now know a little bit about Poe Dameron's parents, which sets him up kind of for The Force Awakens. And this is also, to date, really the only appearance we have of Luke Skywalker post Return of the Jedi. Even in The Weapon of a Jedi, Luke does not appear. The story is about Luke, but the story is told by C-3PO, with his red arm, no less, but no Luke Skywalker. So Greg Rucka has given us a little bit of a glimpse into what Luke might be doing. Something with this tree, probably trying to find a way to bring the energy of the Force back, create the new Jedi Order. Again, this is all speculation, but it's a solid issue. And for those who have been clamoring for a look at Luke Skywalker post-Jedi, this is all you're going to get until December 18th. So thank you, Greg Rucka, for giving us this one glimpse. And please, tell us what the trees mean. For everyone else, thanks for watching.